Seconds, let you guys set up. We're good, Bob.
Yeah, I'm
You
good.
ready?
You can go
All right,
whenever.
here we go. Welcome back to Sunrise Live on a Wednesday. We've kind of changed up the studio a little bit here. This is our book look day, and we have an author from the UK, Stephen J. Yo. If I said your name
You
correctly,
have, yes.
welcome to my show.
Thank you
I'm
for
so
having me.
glad you're here, and you've been here about 2 weeks or so.
Yeah, more or less.
Glad to have you in the U.S. Has your visit been, first time over? And you haven't gone everywhere in the U.S. yet, but you've been around our area some. What you thought it would be different or better than you thought? How's your visit been?
Colliers a quiet town, very quiet.
Okay.
I always thought from movies and everything else
Mhm.
that America was always hustle and bustle.
Yeah.
But it's not the case in Cognac.
It's kind of quietish.
Yeah.
How does that suit you? Good, bad, or ugly?
I came here primarily just for a break.
Okay.
Rest, and spend some
A
time.
holiday would be is that the term
Yeah,
you use?
really.
Take a holiday. And it's been pretty good?
Yeah.
We did talk a little bit in the first segment about your visit. You did see the prison where Shawshank movie was filmed.
Yeah.
Are you glad you did that?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, that was a good stop. You've
That
seen
was
our
awesome.
lake, you've seen other places.
Yeah.
You tried, Mike mentioned some foods, Twinkies and snowballs and a beef stick and all that. Have you had anything else? Have you tried any of our local restaurants at all?
Most of them now. I think we've done most of them.
Okay, enjoyed your meals?
Yeah.
What is completely different about Americanized foods and what you're eating in the UK, whether it's restaurants or home stuff even? What's the biggest thing? This is really different.
Well, the biggest shock that I know Mike found was we have a sugar tax in the UK.
Okay, explain.
We tax companies for using too much sugar in their products.
Really?
So, and
Like Coca-Cola drinks or things like that? You
Yeah,
mean stuff
yeah.
like that? Okay.
I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but
you
there
have a
is a
sugar
sugar
tax.
tax.
All right.
So when I had a hot chocolate in, what was the restaurant?
Tim Hortons.
Tim Hortons.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Um,
Dessert place.
Yeah, I had a hot chocolate drink in there, and it was so sweet I didn't add any sugar to it. Whereas usually at home I always add sugar to it.
That's just, in America, we love our sugar. So, you understand. So that's a big, sugar in a lot of stuff is
Yeah.
a big thing. Culturally, here's what I think. I think politically, we all leaders separate ourselves too much. I think we're human beings at heart. A lot of differences between us Americans and UK folks that you've seen being over here. Are we that different? Or what do you see as difference, if there's a startling difference between us?
Not a lot, really.
Yeah.
It's just customs and the way things are done.
Okay.
I mean, you guys drive on the wrong side of the road.
Well, that's absolutely true. I get that one. Okay.
It's weird little things, things that Mike and I have been discussing quite a lot. For example, your fire hydrants. You have fire hydrants
Yeah.
on your street,
Yeah.
whereas we don't. We bring the water in the fire trucks.
There aren't hydrants.
No.
That's not how it works.
No, we
Okay.
our water
That's
comes with the
interesting.
fire trucks.
Yeah. Okay.
And then Mike says, well, what happens if the water runs out?
I was gonna say you don't have enough.
You have
another
another
truck. You solve all that issue. That's cool. Well, I'm so glad you're here. We're here to talk about you as an author. The book, and you see it in front of him. There's a stack. I've got my own signed copy, Ketterland. I gotta ask you. I love reading. I always have since I've been a kid. I don't know how. My mother tells me, now she's passed, but I mean, I'm the first of 3 kids in the family. She told me I taught myself to read, and I don't understand how a kid can do it. So she said I did. So thanks, Mom. You made me think I'm smarter than I probably am. But I loved reading since I'm younger. And I kind of now I have a pretty broad spectrum. I have my favorites, like anybody does, but I'm pretty broad spectrum. I'll try something. Where did words or writing or books when did they mean something to you?
Well, reading, I think, as a school child, you rebel through school and whatever, but I had
No.
Yeah, well, I had an English teacher that she taught us and read from the book Of Mice and Men.
Okay, same. Yeah.
And that book just absolutely impressed me, and I wanted to read more from there. And I got
Because of her more than
Because of
even,
her.
Okay,
No,
yeah.
because of her
She
entirely.
interested you in this. All right.
yeah, and then I cottoned on to James Herbert, which is English.
Yeah.
Like Stephen King for England. James
Okay.
Herbert. And I read.
What do you
everything.
think made you any reason why you might have gravitated there, or what brought you to his stuff?
I don't know. I think
Or how'd you find him as a kid? How old are you talking here? Maybe teenager, high school? Were you talking?
14, 15, I would have thought.
And they're easily accessible in libraries or wherever.
Yeah.
So you found his books and you just liked it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And then I just read everything I could of his, and I've been reading ever since.
When did you first put, and whether it's pen to paper, I'm going to use that old phrase. When did you first put a pen to paper to do anything?
I was a professional singer for about 30 years.
You want to quickly tell me about that? How did that come about?
Well, not on the same level as Mike, touring around the country, or I wasn't signed to a record
But
label or whatever.
Just love music though.
Yeah.
A band or solo guy?
Started off in a band
Okay.
for a long time, and we supported a lot of the name acts, and from the 70s and 80s and 60s.
Like
and whatever.
pubs, bars, where'd you play? Big places, where'd you play?
All over the place. Holiday camps, army bases,
Really?
caravan clubs.
What kind
Cruise
did
ships,
you
whatever.
do? Local flavor, world music? What kind of music did you do?
Everything.
Did you really?
Everything.
You have a favorite style of music that you would listen to in your car on your own?
Yeah, I would say 60s and 70s.
Okay.
Which currently I'm in a band now, and that's what we do. Just
Musician
60s
or
and
just a
70s.
singer? What do
Just
you-
a singer.
Okay, you like singing. So if you had to pick a favorite 60s, 70s tune, what is it? One out of your top five.
I would think it would be Simply Red or Duran Duran. One of them,
Yeah?
I think. For me,
Duran
it's-
Squared, we love that band. All right, so 30 years in music. The writing, again, how get back to how you wrote. Or what's your first thoughts you put down and why did you
I
bother?
filled my time with. I joined a local amateur dramatics club.
Okay,
And I filled my time acting with them, and then I thought, some of these plays, I could do better.
I could
So-
do better.
So I started writing plays
Yeah.
for them to perform.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Like,
and,
what's one of your first, what did you put together for them to do?
a comedy farce called Dr. Zuckers, which is one of mine.
Okay.
And we put that together.
What was the kind of comedy, serious, what was
Comedy.
it? Okay.
Yeah, comedy. And then I've written pantomimes for them, and now I currently have pantomimes that are performed all over the world.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Python fan?
Yes.
Some or not so much?
Not
or-
all of it, but some of it.
On the
Yeah.
comedy side, I love some of their stuff too.
Yeah.
Anybody else in the comedy world strike you love?
Lee Evans.
What's a Lee Evans?
Lee Evans is a comedy entertainer, a stand-up comic.
Okay,
From Britain, actually from Bristol, where I live.
okay.
And
Oh,
he's-
from Bristol.
he's
Okay,
great.
that's right. I didn't mark that down. Go ahead.
Um,
Like adult comedy, a little of everything.
a little of everything.
A little of everything.
Yeah, I'm not a lover of.
Can we
Batman
find him on a
music.
YouTube type thing? If we
Oh,
want to look him
yes,
up? He's
yes.
everywhere. Has he come to the States much?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. He's
I
been
don't know
in
why I don't know
various
that name. I
films.
kind of keep up in comedy a little bit.
He was in a film called Mousetrap. I think.
I know that movie. Okay, Lee Evans. I just have to look that up again. So you've written, you got plays, you got pantomimes. All right, and they're being performed. So
Yes.
your stuff somebody liked it and took root.
Yes.
When did we decide, because this is the first novel, when did this idea come about? How did this get in your head?
This was a dream, or a nightmare.
No,
whatever you call it.
explain.
I had a dream, and it was so vivid that I.
Well, you really mean a dream,
Yeah,
dream.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
No, seriously.
Of this story.
Yes. Yes.
Ketterland. Can
I-
you briefly what do you remember from that dream that made you do this?
The dream. I woke up and I had such a vivid feeling of I was walking through a forest, and in this forest was hundreds of children hanging from the trees
Oh my Lord.
in all states of decomposition. I could smell it, almost taste it in the air, and could feel them
And this
in the
is
trees.
vivid to you as you're.
Yeah,
Oh, go ahead.
and hence that's where the story came from.
I'm swallowing hard here. So horror, dark, what would you call this? What is Ketterland?
I would say it was a horror crime.
Horror crime.
Horror crime.
Pretty much, did your dream, that was the bulk of it, or was there a conclusion to where the kids in the tree, I mean, did that go somewhere in the dream, or you just started there and had to develop from there?
I think the dream was, I got the impression that I was the person that had caused everything in the trees.
Whatever was happening, that we'll find out about in the book.
And then when I decided I'm going to have to write this as a story, I had to create who that character was going to be. And for me, it turned out to be, well, it's on the back of the book, I don't mind saying, it turned out to be the Pied Piper of Hamelin.
Likely, I can
yeah.
see where you're going with
Yeah,
that.
and he played his pipe and rode away with 130 children that were never seen again. and that's my take on, well, this is what happened to the
Lord.
children.
You're terrifying us here. So when you wake up, is this a fever? I mean, you know, you felt it. When did you decide I have to make this a story? After that dream?
Almost immediately. Yeah.
Really?
I knew I had to.
Now, compared to other things, you've written many things. You perform music, so you got that, you know, interesting mind. How's your writing? I've asked Mike about how he writes his stuff, and I love to talk. Everybody does it similar, but a little different. Are you like, I'm going to commit, 10 to 2 every day, or when it hits me, I'll go 8 hours at a clip and then stop for a day? How do you do a writing process?
I tend to write from when I wake up, because sometimes I wake up at stupid o'clock.
Okay, but
and everybody else.
that's the start of your day, though, is writing. Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wake up, grab a cup of tea,
Yeah.
and take it back to my desk, and then I write until people get
Now
up.
we're obviously on laptops, computers,
Yeah,
whatever.
on
Is that
the-
how you do
on
this?
laptop.
What do you like to use then? Just what do you love? What's your computer of choice, and what's your editing you like to
I
use?
have a MacBook,
Okay.
and I write using Word,
Okay.
Microsoft Word.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
Now, how often as the author, because I know a book that gets published, at some point, a number of people have to look at this and give you feedback. That's what I've learned from authors, that you gotta have somebody read your stuff
Yeah.
and say, I don't know about this, or explain that, or, you know your story so well, and Mike has told me maybe you forgot to put a key point in that but we didn't know reading it, that kind of thing. When this was getting ready to, I think I'm done with Ketterland, as far as you knew, what's some feedback you got at first, if you're willing to share that?
Well, they're called beta readers.
Okay.
And we put it out to friends or family or
You kinda start there?
or fellow writers, yeah,
Okay.
whichever, and get them to read it. And I missed a whole section on the story originally, and
Meaning that we would have needed as a reader, but you got it in your head, you knew it.
yeah.
So they brought that up.
So they brought that up.
Okay,
So I
does
went
that
back
bother
and-
you?
No, because it was the first book.
Okay.
I mean, now I've written the second one.
And this is a trilogy is what it's gonna be, or 2, or you don't know?
It was going to be a trilogy,
Okay.
but we were having a bit of a brainstorm last night, and
Oh.
it looks as though it might be 5 now.
Mike's expanded you out to 5
Yeah,
now.
we
See
were
this,
talking
man?
last night. So, but certainly a trilogy at the moment.
At the minimum. So where this story, and we don't wanna give away big stuff, but obviously there's kids in
Yeah.
trees. There's somebody that's caused this. There's a story. It's a thriller. It's a crime. Where would you say, how far in the story does book 1 take you then? We obviously don't solve the whole thing if there's more. How far might you take us in our first book?
The first book comes to a conclusion. The second book explores
There's a
more
conclusion to this story in this
story
first
in
book.
this first
Okay,
book.
all right.
And the second book explains more of the backstory of some of the characters in there.
Oh, okay.
And within the backstory, there's a whole new story.
And this is
a
where
whole
the
new story that
expansion can
develops.
probably come from.
Yeah.
Okay. If you don't mind me asking, this is a beautiful artwork. Do you have anything to do with artwork on your book?
No, that's done by a lady called Angela.
Who's this beautiful
She works
person on the
for
front
the-
that we see? Who is this? Like,
I don't
you know
know.
what?
I don't know.
Oh, it's
I
just
think
a beautiful.
Just a
She
creation.
said this, and you knew this was the one out of choices.
Yeah.
This is your choice in the end.
Yeah.
The cover alone, if you get when you see this, it's pretty cool. So we've got Ketterland out. How long has it been out, published, and printed now?
Officially, it came out at the end of October.
Okay.
But we had a few hiccups and problems.
Okay.
And I got them in my hand in the new year.
So a publishing company, your own public. How did you do the publishing for your book?
It's through a publishing company called Foreshore.
Okay.
They're a hybrid publishers. Whereby
Okay.
I pay them a set fee to
Mhm.
publish my book
Okay.
and use their expertise on publishing, editing, and marketing, rather than self-publishing.
Now let's do an easy thing first with this.
Okay.
You're here with me live right now today. You've been in the States for a little while. You're not going to be here after Friday. I think you might be going back home for a bit. Can we see and meet you before you're gone and get a book from you? I know you have a little pile of books with you. Can we get one that you could, I mean, if we want an author signed book, can we get that from you? How do we do this?
Yes. please visit Attic Athenaeum
Okay.
in Connaught.
Like today
Cognac.
would be a day.
Sorry.
Yeah, 'cause
I-
so we get Canute, we get it all.
In Cognac, yeah,
Yeah.
and I will be there today till about 4 o'clock,
That's not right.
and
Okay.
we'll be there tomorrow
And tomorrow as
and
well.
tomorrow.
Wonderful. We can get it live right from you. What if, missed the opportunity? Michael carries some books, I'm sure, because, you guys are friends now, and he would sell your book. How else could we find anything about you? Are you like online? Are you on social medias? Are you a website? What do you do for your stuff?
I have a website called mrpantomime.com.
Mr. Pantomime, go ahead, I'm just
Yeah,
writing it down.
pantomime.com.
Is it M-I-M-E? Mime.
Pantomime.
Mime, yep, .com.
Yeah.
Well, what do we find there?
You'll find there links to all my plays and the comedies, the farces, the radio plays that I've done
Mhm.
that have been on the radio. And that.
Radio plays.
Yeah.
I gotta stop you there for a minute. I love that kind of stuff. What, like the old school, you used to listen to radio dramas or whatever it is. What kind did you do on the radio
Well,
stuff?
basically, it was because of COVID.
Okay,
So
sure.
the
We're all locked in.
amateur dramatic group that I was with,
Yeah.
Octopus, they still wanted to keep things going, and the only way we could do that was through obviously radio plays and keeping everybody away from everybody.
Yeah.
So it was a case of I came up with a series of plays called Senior Moments.
And
Which
like,
is-
what is comedy again, or it
Yeah,
sounds
comedy.
funny?
It's a story of an old couple, and they get up to all sorts of mischief to the horror of their daughter who's trying to look after them.
Okay.
Things like they'll pick magic mushrooms and eat them and start hallucinating. And
You are going out there, aren't you? That's fun. So these are out. You can find these, and are they out there in the world to listen
they
to
are.
still?
You'd have to look for Radio Thornbury,
Okay.
which is a radio station in Bristol,
Okay.
and I think there's links on their website to
Wow. That's good. Do you enjoy, I mean, this writing thing? It seems like this is who you are, just putting a word out there. In getting ready for another book after Ketterland, the first book, where do you, how far along is book, let's forget there's 5, 10, 3, whatever. The next book, how far into book 2 are you at this point on your side of
it.
things?
Is finished.
Your side is finished.
Yeah, my side's finished.
Kind of being edited now, or
yeah.
chopped up, or whatever it's doing. Okay. When do you see maybe another release for that book too, if it all works out?
I'm hoping it's going to be in the summer.
Okay, in the summertime. See a dual book reading on my show coming up. No, in the summertime. Just kidding. If you guys want to do it, I'd
Well,
love
that's
to do
actually what we're trying to do. If
Work
we're
something
gonna try
out,
and
maybe.
try and get them very
it.
close
If you
to each
do,
other.
you got to come on. If you do it, let's do it. But anyway, Ketterland is the book. What do you think? Who is this for? Who should read your book?
Well, my writing style purposely is very easy reading.
Will we feel Britishy reading this, or you wouldn't know? You know what I mean?
Yes, I think you would,
Okay.
because this book is set primarily in Gloucestershire, and
Okay, all right.
Bristol, and all around the different scenes of the area.
Okay.
So yeah, it's set there, so it's very, very British.
Okay. Creepy, scary, terrifying, scary, not young kids scary. Like who are we looking at to get this book?
I think anybody from 14, 15 up,
Okay.
I would have thought.
Okay.
There are,
Would this have been a book like you would have liked to read when you were that kid in high school,
Definitely.
loving books and getting
Oh, yes,
started in
definitely.
books? This would have been your book.
Definitely.
This kind of story.
I think the style of James Herbert is brushed off on me as well.
Oh,
because
okay.
I have had people say that it's a very similar writing
That know
style.
him, you feel that way.
Yeah.
How many does he have out there anyway? By the way, do you have a clue? I mean, is it tons of books?
Yeah, 14, 15.
Okay, so they're out there. This is wonderful to meet you, and I hope you've had a wonderful visit with us here. What else do you want us to know about you or your book or whatever I haven't asked you yet?
I don't know.
Is there more you'd like to tell?
Not really.
No. Stephen J. Yo, keeping it close to the vest right here on Sunrise Live. It has been a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you very much.
I wish you much success. I mean, you two guys are going to go places. I know this. I know what I want to ask you because I've asked Mike this before. I'm not an author yet of any type, and I don't think that's my jam. I don't think that's my lane. You do what you're good at, and I think you guys, this is where you guys are. You're in writing groups. What is that like? Like, are they worldwide, UK? I know he has other author friends he has. You two obviously met because of books. What kind of writing friends or groups are you a part of, and why are you in them? Does it help you, or why are you? What do the groups do
Yeah,
for you?
they do help because you can bounce ideas off of people. You
Okay,
can,
that you trust? You mean that kind of thing?
Yeah, we have a very close circle of friends. I suppose there's probably about 12 of us or so.
Okay, you two are in this group.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
and there are people on there from Germany, New Mexico, from
Okay.
the States, all over the place.
Now, is this group all darker oriented, or is everything in there?
No, there's within that group there's people that write the horror, like myself, Mike and
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
There's people that write romance, people that
Okay.
write trying to think of the word for it, what Laura writes.
Erotica.
Erotica.
Okay, so they're all over the.
Yeah.
It's not just like this similar type of story. And do you still read quite a bit as a writer? Are you
Yes.
still a pretty big reader?
Yes.
Stick to dark, or do you read a little of everything to see what's out there?
I support a lot of our friends as well, so
Okay.
I buy their books and
Sure,
read their
okay.
books so that they can get honest reviews on it.
Okay,
Because
yeah.
we all like honest reviews. So
Yeah.
if you do buy my book and read it, please give me a review
If-
on Goodreads, good or bad.
I'll tell you what.
Good or bad.
Two different reviews I want to ask you about. From your circle of friends, when you all read each other's books, and hopefully you're probably honest with each other, does a tough review hurt you because you trust the people in your group, or what is a tough, like it's not what you wished it was, if you could have your druthers, but what does it do for you when a friend tells you, I'm not sure this is my book?
I would like a friend to say, Steve, that is the absolute worst book I have ever read. Because.
With a because.
As long as they explain to me why because,
Okay.
I can learn from it.
Okay,
And if it becomes a popular viewpoint, then I think, okay, fine, I'll learn by that and I'll do it differently next time.
okay.
We need bad reviews
All
to
right.
learn, to grow.
People you
As a
don't
writer.
know but buy your books, but they may throw something at you. Does a negative hit you the same way with somebody you don't know? I don't want to say don't care about, but they're not in your close circle of people you trust. Does that matter as much, or is it you take it as
It's-
a piece of
I
salt
would-
and go?
No, I would treat it the same as everything else.
As long as they're
if-
fair about what they
If
said.
they explain why.
But your book stinks. That's my review. Well, that didn't tell me anything.
No, that's right.
Okay, got it.
Then obviously those you
Or
take with a pinch of
best
salt.
book I've ever read. No more than that. You don't know if they're just
Yeah.
fluffing you out. Who knows?
That's right.
So you like a little bit of the why to.
Yeah.
I don't care for this story because now some of it might just be it's too dark for me.
Yeah.
And that's okay because the world needs all the books out there. Sorry, you need every book that's out there. Whether I like it or not, or you like it, don't stop books. Please don't stop books. I don't believe in that stuff. But so a review matters when it's a friend as long as they're helpful. First book out. What did your basically circle friend, are they liking it from what you can tell, or struggling with it? Anyone struggling
The
with it?
common denominator seems to be everybody reads it in one sitting.
They get through it.
Yeah, they get through it.
Okay.
And the majority are thoroughly enjoying it, and they're liking particular characters, and it's not the same characters.
So
all the
that
time.
tells you I did a good job spreading
Yeah.
out these people too. Do you like to hear a one sitting book sometimes? Does that tell you something? Had to get through this book kind of a thing? What does that do for you?
Makes me very happy, very proud. Yeah.
Because I'm thinking to me that means I can't stop the chapter here, I got to keep going is what I'm reading into that.
I mean, I think any author ever wants is a page turner. You know,
There
if,
you
if
go.
you've got a book that's a page
And
turner.
we're talking, are you just a little over 2, maybe not? Yeah, this is not, and it's not like, this is not a hard read.
No.
But I'll tell you what I'm gonna do for Mike's sake, I will do this and for you. I'm gonna get through your book instead of doing 2 at once like I've been doing. I'm just gonna read through. And, the setup and just the beginnings, good stuff. I enjoy it. I might get creeped out. I don't know. I got to see where this thing goes. But possibly 2, 3, maybe 5 are kind of starting getting fleshed out. Outside of this storyline, anything else in your fertile line you're going to put out someday, or is this just where you're heading for now?
No, well, I've got several. I think I've got about 8 novels finished at the moment.
Your side finished.
Yeah, they
Really?
are finished.
Now, do you think they'll all get out there, or they're for you?
I've a series of young adult novels.
Okay.
Called Queenie.
Okay.
And she is a princess that's next in line to be queen. and she doesn't want to be. She's an adrenaline junkie. She likes
We
to.
kind of talked about that a little bit, but doesn't want to be.
Yeah, she likes to water ski, rock climb,
The
surf.
stuff you don't do when you're in the Royals,
Yeah.
sort of a thing.
So the first book in the series is called Queenie Escapes.
Really?
She wants to escape that life.
How many of those do you have kind of going?
I have 2 finished, but I have no.
That's like for teenage, well, it could be anybody, but you call it YA, I
It's a young
understand.
adult,
Yeah, and that could be a little series. Do you think they'll see a light of day down the road here? Is that your plan?
They're already with a publisher,
Okay.
and so far it looks good. So it looks as though a Canadian publisher may be running with them. We'll see.
That's wonderful. This is wonderful. It's been great to meet you. Thank you for stopping here in the US and
Thank you
making
for
a
having me.
visit. Mike, again off camera, thanks for bringing him into us here in our studio. This has been wonderful. Stephen J. Yo, Ketterland, you want a book signed by the author, it's even on his shirt. He's got a shirt made with this thing. Go today and tomorrow to Attic Athenaeum, right on Park Avenue, and meet him yourself. Great guy. Meet Mike if you've never been in. Take a look. Both their books are available. Bingo and Ketterland, what a duo to start with. That'll set you on the wrong path right off the bat. So get their books and enjoy it. Guys, thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you.
We're going to let you get on with your life. Keep up the good work. We'll be back and we'll wrap up Sunrise Live for today in just a few minutes. Stay tuned, and we're good.